Sagittarius, welcome back to Steampunk Psyche. If you are a subscriber, thank you so very much. I love you. I appreciate you for subscribing. If you're brand new to the channel, or if you're cross-watching, come on in. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, join this community, okay? We are going to be doing a 16 card reading, okay? We're going to finish up the 2025 season here. And moving into 2026, okay? So the 16 cards are going to talk about, your present energy, obviously. We're going to look at, some challenges. We're going to look at things that may be lying underneath the surface of Sagittarius. We're going to tell a story. If the shoe fits, wear it. If the shoe does not fit, don't force your foot into it because of obvious reasons. You're going to get your toes crammed, right? You're going to get a blister. It's going to hurt. It's going to suck. But like I said, I appreciate you being here. I do. I hope that you've enjoyed any of the readings that I've done in the past. I hope they resonate with you. I am not going to give you a sugar-coated answer, okay? I'm not trying to clickbait anybody. I don't want to devalue the archetypes, okay? And if you're from Oklahoma, it's probably archetypes. I'm just saying. But what I'm trying to say is I will try to give you the best kind of a scenario that I can. And like I said, these cards present a lot of different energies. So sometimes it's hard for me to come up with so many ideas. There's 78 cards, and then there's 78 in the reverse. So you can imagine. Anyway, just hang in there and we'll get it. So Sagittarius, we're going to pull two cards here. And like I said, the energies may apply, they may not apply. Your very first card, hold your horses. It's the Five of Cups. No, it's not doom and gloom. Don't peel away. I'm going to tell you why. I'm not any longer going to accept that which does not emotionally fulfill me. See, I told you, a little band-aid there, right? It does appear to have that doom and gloom. Some things didn't work out, you kicked them over, but look, you got two cups behind you. Now that still sounds like doom and gloom, but what it means is you're refusing to allow things that do not emotionally fulfill you in your life. It's a decision, it's a choice. And it's not an easy choice for a lot of us. There's love present. There's financial means. There's all kinds of things that can emotionally not fulfill us, right? And I think that you're seeing the light of day in that scenario, okay? Now remember, it's a journey as well. It's crossing the river, crossing the bridge to get to the other side. I know there's a lot of work about that. And the thing about it is your challenge card is the Chariot, okay? The Chariot card. We could be talking about somebody in your energy in the past from 2025 coming up that may have been from the sign of Cancer. We're not here to dog down any signs, but that could have been in your timeline, okay? But the Chariot card is willpower, okay? You have the ability to rebuild. Look at the square upon the tunic. That's what that symbol represents. The rebuilding builds their future, block by block, brick by brick. Could also be associated with Pisces as well. It is the triple moon that he's wearing upon there, okay? The triple moon crown. So we could have had those two energies present there. But the Chariot moves by willpower, okay? It also talks about the light and dark side, the light side and the dark side of our aspects. You could be that type of person, okay? But something's challenged you, okay? 2025 to 2026 is where we're rolling here. So the next thing we're going to take a look at, that was your crossing challenge, okay? I will be referring back to these cards too, so keep in mind when I do that, we'll try to remind you because sometimes this can get a little long-winded. Okay, the next card here, we're going to talk about your foundation, what lies underneath. You were seeking justice in 2025 up till now. This could have been yesterday. It could have been a week ago. It could have been at the beginning of the year. But you were needing justice on something. And I mean, when I say justice, I mean balance. I mean everything to be fulfilled, emotionally speaking. Okay? Or you could have been contractual-wise. You wanted something. However, the card came out in reversed. All right? And what that means is you didn't quite get that justice you were seeking. Okay. Now that could have been from a relationship. That could have been a contract. That could have been any of those things. You'll just need to keep that in mind as we move forward so that you apply what we're talking about. Okay. The next card to come out was the Three of Wands, which is the investment card. Okay. Emotionally speaking, not necessarily like the Pentacles. Okay. So the Three of Wands talks about, do I invest in this situation? And if I do, is my ship going to come in? Okay. Or is it sailing out of the harbor? The wands came out, the Three of Wands came out in a reverse position, meaning there's some stagnation taking place. There was some stagnation. Some things that weren't moving made sense when the Justice turns upside down. You were not getting your return in your investment. However, during that time of whatever that was that's lying underneath in the underlying, there's a union that you wanted to take place, or that needed to take place, or that, this union could have been as easy as, going to a concert, going to a celebration of some kind, okay, where there was a celebration of community, of friends, family, laughter, love, all that good stuff, okay? And that was in your recent past as well. Now, why that shows up, I'm not sure. You'll have to apply it. But the King of Swords was there, okay? Well, hello, camera. Come on now, do me justice. Do me justice, camera. The King of Swords. But the King of Swords is that energy that says there is a very decisive answer that happened, okay? You may not have got the answer you wanted, but it cut to the marrow into the bone. That could have been a disappointment of an answer. That could have been something you were longing to hear about, let's say, that, that past situation, that union that took place. This sometimes talks about marriage. Perhaps that you were seeking a divorce, okay? And then you finally got the answer in, okay? Or perhaps that somebody was doing that to you as too. You know what I mean? It could talk about contracts in that way. But something about that union coming together, celebration of joy or whatever it was, doesn't have to apply, but there was something about it that cut to the bone, something very sharp. Like I said, 2025 up till 26, we're almost into 26. We're going to take a look at the recent past, okay? This Five of Pentacles in the recent past talks about perhaps a stubbornness, not receiving help, not wanting any help. There's a couple of ways, or, more than one way to look at this. The chapel that they are walking past, they know all they got to do is go in and get help. So that's why I say, it's perhaps you're very headstrong. You're a person that says, I can do things on my own. I don't really need outside help. I don't need validation. However, it also represents an energy that says, I feel like I'm being left behind, okay? So in the recent past, there may have been a situation, or, like I said, try to figure out what that energy is for you, but there may be a situation when you felt like you were left behind. But the next card to come out, right behind it, okay, is the Sun card. I got to cover up the little naked baby. However, the Sun card came out. So there was some kind of an energy there. We could be talking about a situation where that celebration took place, or whatever it was. Happiness, a joyful situation. In fact, I am moving towards that because we had the Six of Cups as well. So in the recent past, there was maybe you had a reunion back. It could have been a high school reunion, something like that. That could have been part of that celebration. It could have been an anniversary of some kind of celebration. But something brought back some nostalgic memories. You could have run into an old flame, an old partner, or somebody that just brought back some old memories about love. Cups are about emotions. So, excuse me, we could be talking about that. We could be talking about any of the fire signs as well in that energy. Okay. But yeah, whatever that was, it challenged your strength. It challenged your compassion. It challenged your joy, your happiness. Okay. Whatever that situation is, this could really get a little individualized. So only take what resonates, and we'll move on forward from the recent past for Sagittarius and the possibilities to come. The possibilities to come looks like the 10 of Wands. Okay. Now it's not doom and gloom again. What this means is that you have boundaries. You've put up boundaries. You've put up walls. It could also talk about a hell of a burden, of an overburden. You could be overworked, underpaid, the whole gist, right? Everything that applies with that. Understaffed, overpaid, too many managers, not enough employees. Whatever that means for you. But the possibilities here, the possibilities of you letting down your guard, right? What about that? The possibilities of letting down your guard and allowing for a romance. How about that? The King of Wands, allowing for a beautiful This could be a masculine energy. It does not have to be. A feminine can be in a masculine position. So how about a very beautiful person coming into your life for a new romance, okay? The possibilities of this person being ugly are nil to zero. Why? Look how he's dressed. Rico Suave. Look at that. Finely adorned, emotionally astute, emotionally capable of telling you the words that you need to hear, the emotional support of things, but also a fiery, yeah, do I have to say any more? Okay. However, in your possibilities, there's also a death to come, okay? Not the physical death, the emotional, spiritual death, okay? And we've seen that, remember, I told you we refer back to this. Your present energy is that emotional, I'm done with people who aren't going to reciprocate. Remember, I told you, I said, you're going to be referring back to this because there's a reason why. And it's like, you could be putting an end to a relationship where it's no longer emotionally fulfilling to you. The death of that relationship. Remember that the bishop is looking up at the pale rider. The pale rider brings the neutrality in situations. It doesn't bring the death to the situation. It brings the neutrality to it. If it's not working, it equals it out. Okay, so something in this energy is going to fade away, okay, and become new. It's sort of like, if I had to give an example, when a metalsmith refines gold, they have to remove the dross to get to its purest form. So that's the representation of like the death card. So it's a transmutation, an alchemizing of your past traumas. These burdens that we saw with the Ten of Wands. Yeah, so that's what's taking place. And here's the kicker: you got the Four of Swords, so you know this. Okay, at some time in this possibilities here, you're going to need to really contemplate a situation. You're going to really need to lay on the bed of swords, and that means that not in a painful way. That means that it's a decisive decision. It's bigger than the Two of Swords. This is that you've contemplated, like I said, perhaps this contract that didn't work out, or this relationship, this nostalgic thing. You're really going to be open to the ideas. Okay, this means you're transfixed on some situation. You're lying on that one sword. So something very heavily is going to present itself to you. It's not tragic. Doesn't mean it has to be tragic. It could be a really interesting situation. Okay. Excuse me. Now, the near future, Sagittarius, we have the star card. We could be talking about an Aquarius, maybe in your timeline, somebody crossing in the timeline. But really, I kind of feel like the card, since the Four of Swords is one of those possibilities, the death card, one of the possibilities, a romance, one of the possibilities, in letting down your burdens. This is getting balance in your spirituality, getting balance in those systems. The 7 little stars up there represent the 7 chakra centers. Okay. And that large sign could also be talking about other fire signs as well. Sagittarius is one of them. Hello. If the card presents itself and it's you, it's meaning this is your stance, okay? Your star. You're trying to balance that. So really pay attention. Really, really, really focus in on that type of scenario, okay? So in the near future, you're going to be looking at the Empress, okay? You may be the Empress coming up. You may be, like I said, with the star, it also talks about transmutation. Your challenge card was the Chariot, spirituality, awakening, okay? And the star card represents that. It represents that higher authority, that higher spiritual knowing, that knowledge. So, like I said, I'm not trying to sugarcoat and try to put some kind of something on this so, it's a clickbaity for you. The real challenge that you're looking at is to try to remain in your Empress energy, that divine feminine energy. You can be a masculine and still remain in the Empress energy, okay? It's very focused, very clear, and I know that's hard with the hustle and bustle of life kicking our ass all the time, right? But don't tell me you can't pull some time out of your day to focus inward, to take, it's the most necessary thing, okay, in order to do that. So that's a must in the near future, okay? The next card to come out, the Judgment card. you're getting that judgment. Okay? It's coming. But there's a but. It sits in between the Sun card. Empress sits between the Sun card and the Judgment card. I'm going to get my camera soon to start showing you these down low, okay? So just hang in there with me. That's beautiful, okay? That means all of the universe is responding to your need, okay? And it's just asking you to be very, very patient with that. Remember, your Chariot card is willpower. You have to have the willpower to stay, right? And get out of this frame of mind that you've lost, that you've been conquered in some way. Remember, sometimes when we're in pain, it's hard to turn around and look and go, but shit, I still got this. I got that, right? You know, we're so in our damn heads all the time. Okay? You are love. You are passion. You are fire. Okay? And the Chariot's reminding you, that's your challenge card. Remember, it's always going to constantly remind you. Have willpower. Have strength. The reason being because there's a brand new beginning in your near future. Brand new beginning. The Fool. It's not recklessness. It could represent recklessness if that's the choice you make. And keep in mind, all of these energies are just a choice. You do have a choice to decide which direction to go, what you manifest. But the Fool could represent a brand new relationship, a brand new love. It could represent moving. It could represent companionship. Okay? It can represent a whole lot of things for you, whatever your goals, your dreams, your desires. The Fool is energetic and ready to approach that. Okay, so now what I'd like to do is go ahead and clarify what Sagittarius is showing up as right now. If you have hung on this long, thank you so much. I appreciate you. It's hard sometimes to, get that. You want that vending machine answer, that one that says, "Ooh, my love's coming in," all this. But this is not going to help you. It's not, because if you ask yourself the hard question and go, what keeps repeatedly coming back to me all the time? I'm done with 2025. I'm done. I'm moving into 26. And I'm going to make some damn changes that are going to ultimately, I'm going to make this effort and do this and see what happens. So I want to know how you're showing up in this. Okay. Sagittarius, how are you showing up in this? Okay. Loyal. The 10 of Pentacles is the most loyal card you can get. It's growing something from scratch. You have the Chariot card. Remember, I told you the Chariot is a builder. Okay? It's growing a legacy, building a legacy. It's home life. It's surrounding yourself with, a legacy of love, relationship, wealth, all of this stuff. Okay? So this is in your mindset. That's your mindset. And that's a beautiful damn mindset. Okay? Hang on to that. This is what you got to run into 2026. Yes, you're going to fall. Yes, you're going to trip. Yes, you're going to stumble. You're not going to meet the expectations that yourself puts on you because you are your worst enemy. But if you sit outside, if you become patient like the Empress, right? If you act like the Empress and gather in and allow judgment, to take place like we've seen right here, and allow the Sun also, and that new journey to take place, you're going to make changes. Every little small increment, you can't help but do that. Okay. Now, what is in the environment around Sagittarius? Actually, ask the hard question. What am I surrounding myself with? Am I around winners? Am I around losers? Am I around people who are going to motivate or people going to bring me down? We saw that your energy, early on was that 5 of Cups, right? No more emotional vampires. None. Okay. What's in your environment? Toxicity, temptation, the devil. Okay. I love this card. In fact, check this out. That is my Steampunk Psyche Devil Tarot card. I'm coming up with that soon. Yeah, I swear I did put that in there. But it's amazing. I love that card. All right. I love the Devil card because it exposes to us that which we are afraid to look at, that which we are afraid to see, that which we don't want to look at because we know it's work. Okay. If they're talking about relationships, it could be that you're chained to somebody that doesn't serve you. It could be you could be chained to an idea that doesn't serve you. Excuse me. You could be chained to an addiction of some kind. And I don't care. I'm not judging you. That's not what I'm saying. You can oversex yourself if that's possible. You can overindulge, overeat, blah, 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 and the list goes on. But it's here to remind you what your situation is. And remember, your situation was carrying emotional baggage around that doesn't serve you any damn more, right? So, what are you going to do about that, Sagittarius? What are you going to do about it? Hopes, fears, wishes, and worries. The hopes, the fears, the wishes, and worries for Sagittarius. No, I wasn't trying to plug my t-shirts either, I promise you. But it just happened to be that particular card. That's cool. Check it out. Your hopes, your fears, your wishes, and worries is a romance, okay? A possibility of a romance there, okay? You're wishing for it, or you want romance in your life, or get out of your head the romanticism about things and allow the action to come towards you, because that is the action card for the romance, okay? Get out of your head. Get out of that frame of mind. Don't, like I said, you keep showing up, all right? You had the 10 of Wands earlier. And like I said, that is the wall for your boundaries now. You're no longer going to let a schmoozer come in and say a bunch of word salad that's going to trick you into, just allowing somebody to use you again, take advantage of you in that way. This is a good card. It's not a good card. Doesn't mean every time you see the Knight of Wands, that's what that means. But remember, we're referring back to your emotional energy that's taking place. But this talks about a romance, okay? So, hopes, wish, right? So now we're talking about your outcome. Sagittarius, what is the outcome? We're at the end of 2025. We're moving into 2026. And Sagittarius wants to know what the outcome is. Okay. How about the King of Cups? Okay, right? The King of Cups. Willpower, strength, courage. All of those cards came out, okay? So there is a romance. There is a person who is emotionally fulfilling, okay? It's coming. There is a person that's emotionally fulfilling for you. Whether you're male, whether you're female, whether you're in a monogamous relationship, whether you're in a marriage, whether you're in a broken marriage, whether you're in a throuple relationship, whether you're polygamist, I don't care. What this means is the outcome is there is an emotional stability. This fella here, this masculine here, who takes on the passive position because emotional card, it's coming. You're one, your person, your soulmate, definite connection of some kind. Sagittarius, I could go ahead and clarify more, but I feel like my message got across. It's like no longer allowing, remember your challenges, okay? No longer allowing people to come into your space and invade your emotional territory, okay? I hope you got something from this. I hope you liked this video. Give it a thumbs up, would you? Subscribe. If you're cross-watching for that particular person, come in and check out those other videos, okay? I just laid out, there's some new ones, and I got more coming next week. I'm going to start posting this more to let you know when they're coming, but I hope you got something, Sagittarius. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that I get to see you again on the next one, okay? All right, bye-bye.